Hello, everyone. Welcome to our continuing coverage for the catch-all for PAX West coverage. I'm Josh, joined by special guest Ryan. And hello, Ryan. I just noticed this video, the way I have the screen's cutting off my hand, so I can't caress Ryan's head. Sadly, that being said,
farewell to arms.
Farewell to arms. That being said, on this episode, we're going to be discussing more of our focus game coverage. For those who may not have seen any other videos where I mentioned this, in the focus game coverage is where we talk about either our favorite stuff from PAX West, or essentially the most interesting stuff, things that go under those nature of things. Justin and I usually do these videos together, but decided
Justin's a prick and we didn't want him here, so I'm here, baby.
That's a better thing than I was going to say. Let's go with that. So this episode, we're going to be discussing Pathfinder Kingmaker, which is a game that, for those who may have not seen, I believe it was last year. Last year we talked to Chris Avalone, who is doing some writing stuff on the game. He wrote a module and a bunch of other stuff related to the game. We chatted about it with him during the Kickstarter. I now got a chance to go hands-off with the game. I could have had a hands-on opportunity, but sadly I could not get back to the booth in time to actually do that. But the hands-off, I felt...
Break my heart.
I know, but the hands-off was really actually very in-depth. I got to see combat, I got to see the actual Kingmaker mode, because the way the game works is it's essentially you are playing out a Pathfinder campaign. For people who may have familiarity with Pathfinder as a game, there's familiar characters, familiar locales as well. But you kind of do your dungeon crawling kind of aspect of the game, where you have a party of people. I believe your PC, and it was, I believe, 4 or 5 compatriots that you go off, you explore, you do different stuff in the world, but then you also have a town that you're running, a city that you are the king of, and that's
awesome.
You actually get to build your city. It's kind of on a semi-grid system, but you get to put stuff down and build around that, and then you enact laws and different things of that nature. So yeah, where do you want to start, Ryan? Because I got some extensive notes on this. My first note, just for reference, is holy shit, it is expansive.
Well, I recently have joined into the world of Pathfinder. I played my first tabletop game probably a month or two ago of it, and I had a great time. I am officially a member of the Pathfinder Society. Right?
Yeah. Which is, so, I love that you had that handy.
Yeah, well, if this also apparently doubles as like a virgin card. So, but that's what I'm told. I don't know.
But you're married.
You so?
Gross. Sex is gross.
Don't tell her I said that. No, I'm super excited, and this is another one that because it's something that's kind of near and dear to me. You know, I've gotten really, really passionate about tabletop games and the whole world with everything. So I've done my homework on this one. I know a good bit of it. So my questions for you are more along the lines of the actual Kingmaker mode with everything.
Sure.
Because like you said, you start off with a campaign. You start off as it's supposed to be like levels 1 through 20-ish or something like
thereabouts.
That, right? Okay. So so you start off as a lowbie, and you be somewhere along the line, you become a king, and you're gonna build everything up. Tell me about Kingmaker mode. Is there anything that you can compare it to? Where you can build your kingdom in Suikoden or Ni no Kuni.
Sure. Now, I mean, essentially, as I said, it's on this kind of semi-grid system for building stuff. So the way it works, is you have your predefined points, and they are different sizes as well. So there are some sections that blatantly can only really put a wall. What type of wall is the question, but you can only really put walls. There's other stuff that goes different places. The buildings all have different characteristics. So putting buildings next to another building will increase flow of stuff. So if you put, I believe it's the market next to the tavern, you can increase the profit of both of them. And stuff like that, because people get drunk and then they go shopping, or people are shopping, and at the end of their shopping trips, they're tired and they go to the tavern, stuff like that. And there's other buildings, I believe, that if you put them next to each other will actually weaken the effects the building have. So you do have to be wary of how you're putting stuff, but things can be destroyed.
So you don't want to put your parish next to your tavern.
Probably not. I don't know if there's a whorehouse, but I can't imagine you would want to put that next to
right in the middle of the religious district.
Yeah, you wouldn't probably want. I mean, honestly, that probably would be a good place, to an extent. But it also, on paper, wouldn't look great. But that's kind of the building thing. Then the rest of the Kingmaker mode is a lot of So what you can do is members of your party can actually be assigned as essentially your advisors. You have your military advisor. You have your city advisor. There's like 5 or 6 advisors that do different things. What's cool about this is all of your characters as Pathfinder have alignments. So it's like the way they had it set up is that the military advisor was an evil character who is very militaristic and likes to fight things. They had the cultural person who was a good person. And my first question after seeing that, because like this gave different bonuses having them in there. My first question was, oh, could I put an evil warmonger as the cultural advisor? Or could I put a little hippy dippy person as the military person? And yes, it is complete. Literally any companion you have can be put around. Because here's the fun part: when you start the game, you choose: are you evil, good, or neutral? That's what you choose. And my question again after that was, can I change my alignment? Because you're setting it at the start. Can you change it? And they said absolutely. If you're a good person and you do enough evil things, you can certainly become evil. Like you can start as a goody two shoes paladin, and then you could fall from the light. So you can do the story of Arthas to an extent.
Cool. That's awesome. So yeah, you're totally busting in all the questions I have because you're explaining everything that I wanted to know. So good job.
So the point was talking the advisor stuff is that you don't have to follow suit. You can change things around. I was trying to give you a lead in for the alignment side of stuff.
No. You're fine. Well, that kind of brings up a question I do have about the alignment with everything. You did say that we could kind of choose. You can choose your path, and that's something that's big to me. Like I definitely want to be. I want to be my character.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to make a decision, and I want it to be something that's meaningful to the character and to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's like the best RPGs are like that.
Oh yeah. So when you make your alignment with this, and you're building your kingdom with everything, does what you have available, will that change based on your alignment or anything like that? Like if I'm an evil warlord, like you were saying that you can put up a wall somewhere and but it might just be a wall, but what type of wall? So like if I'm a hippy dippy, is it a nice beautiful verdant green? And if I'm a warmonger, then it's just like a row of spikes with heads on them.
Yeah, my understanding is that there are cosmetic aspects to what you do. So like with that alignment aspect, if you're a good person, you can build a city that's all heavenly light, kind of thing, and it's a beacon to the world, and you're the center of culture and all this stuff. You could play a neutral person, and it's just it's a city.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's a libertarian city.
Pretty much. I wouldn't call them neutral, but anyways, or you could be an evil person, and literally it's a cesspool of hell. When you are playing an evil character, one of the things you can do is when you fight big monster boss characters, you don't have to kill them. You can actually make them do your bidding. So you can literally that first quest, evil bastard of a boss, slave driver person. I'm just like hypothetical here. You can bring that person into your city. You could have monsters roaming your city, fucking with your citizenry. You could be a total dictator, or you could be a beacon of light, or you could just be the neutral planet from Futurama.
I think that what I want to do is what was the crazy god from Elder Scrolls?
Oh, Sheogorath.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be Sheogorath. I'm like, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of a neutral guy. I'm kind of a little neutral, but at the same time, maybe I'm gonna stab you in the fucking face with a wheel of cheese.
Yeah, we all need a little chaos in our lives.
But so all of your choices on that though, your choices matter. To the point that the game will have an ending, even though it's Pathfinder. There is like a definitive ending. There is a story arc. Things build to their final conclusion. This game has numerous endings based on what you do. It has numerous different things you do. One of there are paths you may not even think to take. So like there was an instance where they came across a group of kobolds, and I forget which other race there were, and they were all fighting over like space. You could side with the kobolds. You could side with the other guys. You could slaughter them all. You could literally just walk by. You could side with one and then get in deep and then kill the one you sided with and then side with the other one. Like there are many layers, and they change how the narrative unfolds. So this at its face value, the way I described it to Justin afterwards, I feel like this is just gonna be people playing Pathfinder. And it's literally you're just playing Pathfinder, except you're playing it as a video game, and that's what it felt like to me. You're playing that pen and paper experience but you don't have to imagine visually the scenarios.
That's cool. That's cool. So I do have a question.
I may have an answer.
It's that same sort of isometric-y type of combat system that we've
Sure.
seen from Baldur's Gate, Arcanum, Pillars of Eternity, insert game name.
Yeah.
Where it's that same sort of isometric. Is it real time sort of where we're real time in the sense that like you can pause it and issue commands and that sort of thing, and then everybody just kind of goes buck wild and does whatever their AI tells them to do? Or is it or do you have the option of doing it where it is like tabletop, where it's, everybody has their initiative and this person goes first, and then this person says what they want to do, and then this person says what they want to do? It's
pause and play combat, essentially. So when you enter a combat scenario, it's kind of like Dragon Age Origins. You'll just suddenly, the game will just pause when you enter combat, and you look around like, wait, what's happening, kind of thing. You set your initial commands, they go buck wild, and then you can, like, the harder combat difficulty stuff, you're gonna have to pause regularly to make it worth it. You're gonna have to do that pausing regularly. You're gonna have to do that to make it an effective gameplay experience, because otherwise you're not going to beat stuff, because your companions will not do anything other than some basic moves unless you tell them to do it. So your wizard's not going to be firing off fireballs willy-nilly, stuff like that. They're just going to be doing their basic kind of stuff. And yeah, so it's pause and play, essentially, or pause and command. No, I like that. I think it works really well. Though there is like a little chat window where you are constantly seeing the dice rolls. I imagine you could disable that, but that's
cool.
That scenario I gave where like the two different factions go against each other. The guy demoing it for me, he walked past. We must have gotten like a hell of a distance away from this, and I'm still seeing the dice rolls in the corner for like this combat that's going on with these like, oh no, Kobold died. Oh no, this made this attack. Like, so it's tracking everything in your in the region you're currently in.
Well, that's cool. I like that. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that there's a lot of different endings to it. Definitely sounds like something that's going to be really awesome. Because I'm going to do two different playthroughs. I'm going to have the playthrough, the chaotic one, where it's I make myself and we see what happens. But since it's Pathfinder, I'm actually going to put my my little necromancer in there, and we're going to see what Theo Rich the gnome decides to do. Yes.
And on that note, there are different races in the game: human, elves, dwarves, gnomes, a couple of others I didn't recognize, so you do have options. This is probably one of the most extensive character creators I've seen, because again, it's Pathfinder. You're creating your Pathfinder character. So it's very extensive what you can do with it. It's going to be a game all unto itself, pretty much. And you did different classes, different backgrounds, different things like that.
Cool. That sounds awesome. We got to do a shout out to our boy, Chris Avalone. He was one of the writers on this.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy, huge historic background, Planescape, Torment, Fallout, Baldur's Gate. If you played an old ass isometric game and love all the story and everything for it, he's one of the people you have to thank. So I'm really glad that he's a part of this. If you want to hear us talk to him, we do have in the archives 2 podcasts with him.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent one, though, we actually talked with him about Kingmaker, like during the process. So you get to see us nerd out and try not to cream our pants talking to a legend, and get a lot of good information. Plus, he is absolutely my favorite person. Like, I know we're not supposed to say that, but he's my favorite person we've ever interviewed. He's just an awesome guy. Easy to go along with. Chris very talkative too.
Chris, the joke always the Chris Avalon interviews is the first one we were supposed to do a 30 to 45 minute interview. It was almost 2 hours. The second one, okay, this time seriously, I only have 45 minutes to give you guys. Cool, that's fine, Chris. Almost 2 hours. And it wasn't because I was being a terrible host and losing track of time. It's because Chris is more talkative than I am, and that's truly
it's just
saying
he's so
something.
Passionate, and you can see it in the things he works on. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So far the writing seems really good. I enjoyed that aspect of it, seeing where it's going with the game, and pretty sure this is one of my most anticipated games of the year at this point. I hate the timing of when it's coming out, but thankfully I think it's far enough ahead of Red Dead and stuff like that. But for anyone who watches Constant Calibrating streams at mixer.com/concalpod, fully well expect me to be probably streaming only this for a little while there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna dust off the old stream channel as well, probably for this one.
Yeah, I feel like this is something I'm just going to be sinking a lot of time into. Essentially, this game feels like the RPG elements from like Pillars of Eternity and Divinity Original Sin 2. Feels like a lot of those aspects of those games just turned up to another level, and then adding in the Kingmaker level aspect also as well. That's what this game felt like with hands-off demo, and a few of the people I know who were able to go hands-on on the show floor reported that they very much enjoyed the experience. So I at this point would imagine if you enjoyed those previous mentioned games, you're probably going to enjoy this. Or if you're just passionate about the Pathfinder universe and things of that nature. I felt really good about it. I feel really good about the game. It comes out September 25th on PC. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I fully, as I said, whether you're looking at RyDaddyF or at ConCalPod, you'll probably see some streams for the game. And theoretically a review. We're not exactly known for getting out RPG reviews because we take a fucking while with them, but
we just like them too much.
You know, we like them too much, and then it's challenging to write about. But another game that I wouldn't be surprised though if Ryan and I do a like post-mortem podcast on a couple of weeks after. I want to start doing more post-mortem podcasts. And now that Justin and I are actually figuring out a schedule for this catch-all show, there'll actually be more common. So yeah, that being said, any other final thoughts or questions you have on Pathfinder Kingmaker, Ryan?
What do you think that you're going to do? Like, what kind of character are you going to be?
Evil. I mean, that's pretty much the way I go in most games. I'm always on this. Well, no, but like seriously, I'm one of those people that whenever everyone's like, "Oh, you know, I played Fable and I never did an evil playthrough. It just I felt too bad doing it." Or I played Knights of the Republic and I couldn't be a Sith Lord. I always start with an evil playthrough. Actually, it took me a lot of energy to play a good character the first time because I am a good person. So I like to explore that darker side of myself. Fuck you, I am a good person. No, but I like to explore my darker nature and stuff like that. As when I was younger, it was because I was an edgelord kind of person, and I was like, I wore black and with the hot topic. That's why. Now it's I'm just really curious about it.
You have an eyebrow piercing.
I do. I like but it's honestly the mechanics of being evil that I really like. I really kind of want to explore though being a good paladin and falling to the dark side. Essentially, I kind of wanted. I really do kind of want to start a playthrough with a good character and slowly fall down the rabbit hole. But if I stream it, I might just play a character that like audience choice. I might seriously go choose your own adventure. I might have a playthrough that's for myself privately, so I can play when I'm not streaming. But I may do a choose your own adventure for the stream.
That sounds like a pretty cool idea too.
I think it's a cool idea. Friends of ours, Bites and Brews, have been doing a choose your own adventure with Skyrim for like the last couple of months. So I really like the concept of it. So if I get a good enough audience watching it, I think I'll do choose your own adventure and then privately play an evil bastard who's with the goal of enslaving every monster in the entire kingdom to be my bitch. What about yourself, nice. Ryan? What's your goal?
Like I said, I'm going to probably start off with like a neutral kind of character and just do what I want to do, see how I feel. If I don't, it's gonna be a lot of interaction with the NPCs for me, and how the other NPCs react is gonna determine kind of what I want to do. Like if somebody's a dick, I'm probably gonna have to kill you. But if I think somebody's cool, I'll we'll see what happens.
Speaking of NPCs and stuff like that, your companions, by the way, do have their own alignments, as I mentioned, and they will like or hate your choices. And it can get to the point that someone can become your best friend and support you strongly, or somebody could literally betray you and try to kill you. There's stuff your companions aren't just they're not just names with an alignment score that go along with whatever you want. Like they are living, breathing people in this world.
That's cool, and that's also why I'm gonna get all the good stuff. You're not, if you're gonna possibly be a little bitch about things and try and kill me because I know how to do things and you obviously don't. You don't like what I'm doing. You're not gonna have all the cool stuff. I'm gonna be the one with the +5 bazooka of fuck you, and I'm gonna
The
Be a bad
plus
day.
5 bazooka, a fuck you.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. So yeah, that's pretty much covers all my Pathfinder notes that I have laid out. So yeah, game comes out, as we mentioned, September 25th on PC. We will be doing streams and a sort of other content, so make sure to check that out. Otherwise, I'm Josh. He's Ryan. My green screen's freaking out a little bit again. Thank you for joining us for this special catch-all content for Focus Games for PAX West. We'll do more continuing coverage of PAX West stuff, from written articles to videos to podcasts to assorted other things over the next couple of weeks. So please join us for all of that. And otherwise, I bid you a good sign-off.